Hello, Miss Hala. Thank you for accepting my invitation to answer some questions regarding the disability topic and how it should be enhanced. I'm going to start with the first question. Give me a brief explanation about the meaning of disability.
Hello, it's a pleasure. You're welcome. So, to start with the term disability, it is used to describe a variety of physical, mental, and sensory impairments that may make it difficult for a person to carry out daily tasks. Disabilities might be obvious or invisible, developed later in life, or present from birth. Disability is not a personality trait that someone is born with. Rather, it results from how the person interacts with their environment, which can either help or block their capacity to fully participate in society.
Do you believe that Lebanon has rights for those with disabilities?
Lebanon has made some attempts to defend the rights of those with disabilities, like many countries worldwide. The National Council for Disability Affairs (NCDA) was created in Lebanon in 2000 by a legislation protecting the rights of persons with disabilities. The NCDA is responsible for directing and coordinating policies and initiatives pertaining to people with disabilities, the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which defines many human rights protections for individuals with disabilities, was adopted by Lebanon in 2010. However, despite these initiatives, Lebanon's disabled population still encounters a number of challenges and barriers when trying to access services like education and employment.
Tell me more about those barriers.
Okay, I will give you an example. It might be challenging for those with physical impairments to move around a fully engaged in society in Lebanon because many buildings and public areas are not accessible to them. Also, people with disabilities may have barriers to healthcare, education, employment, and other services too. When it comes to healthcare, due to poor availability, a shortage of specialized services, and prejudice on the part of healthcare professionals, people with disabilities in Lebanon may find it difficult to obtain the proper healthcare services. For instance, certain medical facilities might be able to accommodate patients with physical limitations, and medical professionals might not be attentive to patients with psychological issues. Now, in terms of education, some schools and universities might not be set up to assist students who have physical or mental disabilities and might not have the resources to do so. Engagement of students with disabilities in the classroom and participation in extracurricular activities may also be limited by prejudice and discrimination. So when it comes to employment due to discrimination and the lack of accommodation in the workplace, people who have disabilities may find it difficult to get employment, and employers may not provide the required discounts to let them. People with disabilities may have less employment options and income potential. These are not the only barriers. In addition to all that, receiving additional services such as housing and transportation, people with physical disabilities may not be able to use many of Lebanon's public transportation systems, and there may not be many accessible housing options available. Due to this, it may be challenging for those who are disabled to live independently and take part in society.
How can we ensure that persons with disabilities have equal access to the community and have their opinions heard equally to other normal people?
Okay, it is essential to focus on accessibility, participation, campaigns, and awareness in order to guarantee that people with disabilities have equal access to the community and have their voices heard in Lebanon. This includes making physical and social conditions accessible to people with disabilities, promoting inclusive policies and practices, encouraging and supporting advocacy activities, and raising public knowledge of people with disabilities' rights and needs. By following these actions, we may work towards a more equal and inclusive society for everybody.
Last question. Do you think technology can play a role in advancing the rights of people with disabilities and ensuring their inclusion? And what are some possible risks connecting to its use?
Technology has the potential to be a key factor in securing the inclusion of individuals with disabilities in society and furthering their rights. People with disabilities may be able to access information, communicate, and carry out everyday duties more independently with the use of technological aids, including screen readers, software that recognizes voices, and adapted equipment. Additionally, technology can enable remote availability of opportunities and services like telehealth technologies, online education, which can improve accessibility and convenience for people with disabilities. However, the risks include possible access restrictions if technology is not created with accessibility in mind, as well as issues related to security and privacy when personal data shared over digital platforms. As a result, it is critical to take a balanced approach in improving the rights of persons with disabilities, carefully examining both the benefits and possible dangers of technology.
Thank you so much for the interesting information and for your time. Much appreciated.
You're welcome.